Hello, I'm Redmoon. And I'm Bluemoon. And I'm back to school season. Oh my god. Not yet back to school. Not yet. We drove it away for now. But in this video, we have tips and tricks for you to survive your freshman year of high school or any year of school. Because being attacked by back to school season made us realize that a lot of you are going to be in high school soon or becoming a freshman or just need tips. So we thought, why not make a tips video like we did a few years ago, but less cringy. Way less cringy. We have exactly 11 tips to share with you beautiful people. Sorry, we have to remind you back to school's coming, but here are some tips to help you, so be grateful. No, just a disclaimer, your school may differ from our school with some of the tips, so some of them are going to be semi-vague, but hopefully they will help you anyway. See, and let me turn ColourPop on. Oh yeah. Okay, now the screen looks very beautiful. We will be moving on to tip number 1. To locker or not to locker. Alright, so just to get this out of the way, we're going to talk about lockers because we know that some middle schools have lockers, some don't. Some high schools have lockers, some high schools don't. Our high school doesn't use lockers, but our middle school did, so it's kind of confusing. So we're just going to try to go over it really quick and give you some tips since we kind of had the best of both worlds. For those of you who don't use your locker, you can always get a gym bag because everyone in the high school has to take gym. You won't look weird carrying around an extra bag because you know everyone does. So you can just stuff your giant coat or books in an extra bag and it's like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. It counts as like a weapon, and if someone tries to tag you, you can beat them with it, and it's a tool for carrying all your stuff in, you know, like, you know, the usual stuff you need in your everyday life. And for those of you who do use your locker, if you're afraid that you won't be able to open it on the first day of school, or during school, or throughout school, here's a little tip for you. The majority of schools have a day where you can come in and kind of tour your classes and find where your classes are based on your schedule, and if your school does have one of those days, you can go in and find your locker and then try to open it multiple times. That's what we did, but it didn't kind of work for us because we still were dumb and didn't know how to open it throughout the year because we like did one minor thing wrong and then it wouldn't open. But you have to keep repeatedly trying to open it until you get it open without any problems at all. Tip number 2, locker Lisa. We know some of you never had a locker before and are probably super psyched to decorate it, but you don't really need to because you're not going to spend a lot of time at your locker. It only, like, our personal opinion, our school is really huge, so it's hard to get from one place to another, so stopping at your locker is kind of difficult. In middle school we had a whiteboard in our locker and the only time we really got to see it is after lunch when we had a little bit more time to look at it. I never really changed it or wrote on it, so kind of pointless. It got in the way of putting my book bag in my locker. I see why people like decorating. In middle school, people would put wallpaper in there. They'd chandeliers, put, like, carpets, and it was just getting in the way of putting stuff in there, so I don't recommend, but, you know, feel free, like, YOLO, like, live your life. Yeah, like, exactly. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just suggesting. It also depends on your school rules, because in middle school, you weren't allowed to have your book bag at lunch, but in high school, everyone has their book bag at lunch, so it also just depends on your school. 1, 2, 3. Tip number 3, military school. If you're heading into the high school, teachers will drill into your head that you can't get away with that in high school. In high school, you'll get in trouble. You're gonna be in high school soon? You're acting like a child. Oh, yeah, some teachers are pretty mean. The point is, a lot of teachers will say that high school is a lot harder than it is. And I'm here to tell you that that's a lie. It's just if you do something seriously wrong, you get in more trouble. Like, if you videotape a fight in high school, you're gonna get fined. If you're in a fight, you could go to jail. But, like, that's minor stuff. In reality, you actually have more freedom, but more work. So it is technically harder. I find it way easier and laid back than middle school is. So it's not like the military and it's not scary at all. It's definitely doable. So don't be scared, little children. It's actually a lot funner than middle school because there's clubs and there's more people and it's just like, high school, be active. Tip number 4, American freedom. We kind of went over this already, but we're just gonna name more things you can do. So when you get older in the high school, you have a thing called senior privileges. But of course, it's only for seniors. You basically get to eat outside for lunch, you can drive around and come back. You get parking places for your car. That's all I really know because I'm not a senior. I'm a junior now. No, sophomore. Is that how it works? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Okay, so I'm a sophomore now. Okay, I'm just go over that right now. Maybe you should not trust any of these facts because I don't even know what grade I'm going into right now. There's definitely more privileges. Like in our school, you're allowed to have your phones out more often. A lot of teachers don't care, so a lot of kids skip class. Literally, there's one kid in my Spanish who came in on the last day and asked where he sat because he skipped the whole year. It's just probably our school that doesn't really crack down on those things, but there's definitely a lot of things that are more lenient. Like, you can wander the halls, and if you show up to class late, like, it's your fault, and you won't really get in trouble with teachers. It's just like, well, you're not gonna graduate if you skip class, so it kinda sucks for you. Lunch can be pretty much as loud as you want, as long as you don't cause a commotion or a scene. I know in middle school and elementary school, they would quiet you down a lot and tell you to shut up. In our elementary school, we would start marching to that, we will rock you. rock you. We would start banging on the tables to that song, and then we'd always get yelled at and told to be quiet. In high school, they wouldn't really tell you to be quiet, they'd just kind of like die out. Tip number 5, Mean Girls or High School Musical? If you're an incoming freshman, you'll most likely have the idea that high school is going to be as happy as High School Musical or as horrible as Mean Girls. And it's not either, it's like an in-between. It depends who you hang out with. If the people around you like to gossip and like make drama, then it'll be more like Mean Girls. If your friends are really carefree and like if they're meme lords, or if you're in the musical, for one. Obviously, we have a lot of friends that are in the musical. I do see bullying, but it's not like, oh my god, you're such a loser. Like, get out. I don't know how to describe it. Like, people are nice to you, but in the way that it's like not nice. They're like, oh my god, hey Red Moon, oh my god, Red Moon, look. They act like they're your friend, but they're actually making fun of you. We have a few cases of bullying, probably just because we sat next to a group of kids at lunch that were just really annoying and like to cause trouble. They would like stick stuff in our hoods. They would just like call your names, and it was just like not bullying, but it's actually like they're just trying to like get on your nerves. Do you see bullying? Talk to a trusted adult. Surround yourself by people you want to be surrounded with. What's that quote? Here's the quote on the screen I'm thinking of. Yeah, that one. Tip number 6, Mickey Mouse. Clubhouse. Come inside, it's fun. In high school, there's thousands of clubs to pick from, so don't be afraid to try some out. We even had a club fair at our school where you'd go with your class or homeroom or whatever, and you'd go and sign up for clubs. There'd be booths and you check out the club. You should join clubs because colleges look at what clubs you're in. Like, high school has a lot of activities like homecoming, like prom, football, and stuff like that. And we have bonfires at our school, so just go to club activities to make amazing high school memories. Highly recommend. We do go to bonfires, not like homecoming or dances or anything though. I'm like not taking my own advice in this thing. So I don't know if you should trust us, but if you're more outgoing and more sociable, definitely go to different activities. Tip number 7, actually practical. We know a lot of these tips won't go for your school or your situation, but these are actually practical, and we found them online. I know, so original, but I thought I'd actually use them this year. I have never used them, so I can't fully recommend, but here are some quote-unquote life hacks for you. So you know when you're looking for a folder in your book bag and you just can't tell the difference between any of them? Take a marker and draw on the top of them so you can tell the difference between them, preferably with bright neon colors. I'm gonna try this here and I'll let you know in next year's video. Yeah. The second tip is when you're starting a new notebook to take notes in for your new class, you know, teachers go over the rules, you want to write them down and stuff, you have to skip a beginning page in the notebook to write a table of contents there. So as you're taking notes, you go back and you write, on this page, this is this, and you know, table of contents, so when you're studying, you will be able to study better. But who studies, am I right? So slang. Just kidding. Tip number 8, silent moon. If you're like us and you're a little shy in school and you don't want to ask for help when you're lost or kind of need assistance in class, do it. It's totally worth it. It would cause you a lot less trouble if you just ask for help, especially in math class. I know I'm like really stubborn and never ask for help in math class. It would probably help me a lot if I actually did ask for help. I used to play this technique where I'd listen to the people around me and ask the teacher questions so I wouldn't have to. So it just causes yourself so much trouble. Just ask questions. Tip number 9, dinosaur rule. Okay, I know a lot of you incoming freshmen are afraid of gym, the fact that you have to change in front of strangers, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not as big of a deal as you think it is. Everyone has to do it, so it's like, whatever. Especially if you have gym with a lot of older kids, like, they change like it's no big deal, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just, you know, change or whatever. But on to the actual dinosaur rule. It's the opposite of what you do with a dinosaur. With a dinosaur, you stay still and they won't notice you. But with teachers in gym class, you have to run and they will not notice you. You won't get points off and it will all be dandy. Tip number 10. Yo, teach, where's my credits? Like we said, the main goal of high school is to quote-unquote graduate it. Credits is what you get for finishing classes. See, I take a year of Spanish, I get like 1 credit, and you want a certain amount of credits at the end of your high school career so you can graduate. For our school, I think it's either 24 or 27. Not really sure, I'm so prepared. Basically, pass your classes, you'll get credits and you'll pass high school. Tip number 11, the lone wolf. Chances are your schedule is going to lead you through a lot of really crowded places. Really, really crowded. There's this one hallway where it's basically like a rave and you bump elbows with people and you can barely walk and you have to wait for teachers to push everyone out of the way. And everybody's moving in different directions. It's really crazy. You want to find a path less followed by. We found this one hallway to go to lunch that's not crowded at all. You can just speed walk and get there faster than everyone. You just gotta look at the map of school and find different ways to get to the places you want to go. But obviously this comes after you get used to the school and when you want to find different ways. Don't be afraid to try new hallways. There's there's always teachers to help you if you get lost, so especially in the beginning of the year, no one will get mad at you if you're late. That's all we have for today. And we're just gonna add 2 more bonus tips onto this to help you and to end this on a really nice note. When we were watching going into freshman videos before we were freshmen, a lot of people said that you'll make a lot of new friends and meet people. And I was just like, no. That won't happen to me. No, not me. Like, and actually, we made a lot of friends. Mostly because you don't have assigned seats in the high school anymore. Like our middle school, you had to like stay with certain groups of people or certain classes. And this year, all the freshmen are together, so you hang out with your friends. Plus, you get to pick your classes, so you might have the same classes as some of your friends. It's cool. Like, you actually make a lot more friends than you think you would. Unless you have a giant group of friends already then. And also, we didn't really go into schedules in this video since, you know, people live in different countries and there's different types of schedules. We have block scheduling. If you know what that is, then that's what we have. When the bell rings, you go to your next class. It's not really all there is to it. Sometimes classes rotate, but that's a whole different story, man. And I used to think the bells were scary. They're not scary. They don't scare you. Unless it's a fire drill, that scares me, but sometimes it does. I got used to it, though. That is all we have. We have 2 more school videos planned. Draw that LPS challenge. Oh, wow. And a crazy stories video, because as you can tell, we do have a lot of crazy stories in high school. We kept trying to tell them, and I'm like, no, we have to hold back. You have to hold back on those stories. Make sure to leave questions in the comments below if you have any more questions about being a freshman or just being in high school or school in general, you know? We'll try answering them. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Random Dance Party! Oh my god, we forgot to mention, it's Purple Moon's birthday today when we're filming this. So wish her a happy birthday in the comments. If you don't know who she is, here's the video on the screen. Watch that and then wish her a happy birthday. She's amazing. Thanks for watching, bye.